These are 7 mind-blowing lessons from the Boondocks that hit differently in 2025. But before we get into that, let me know down in the comments if you caught any of these predictions coming true back in the day. From Riley's Candy Empire teaching us about hustle culture, to Huey dropping knowledge bombs that still have us shook. This show wasn't just ahead of its time, it was trying to school us on life, money, and power while we were busy laughing at Uncle Ruckus. Let's break down how a controversial cartoon ended up being one of the realest business and life coaches we never knew we needed. First up, challenge the status quo. Now Huey Freeman, this kid's a walking revolution. He ain't afraid to question anything, even from challenging cultural celebrations.
The truth is, Christmas evolved from the Roman holiday Saturnalia, a winter festival where men gave gifts to each other. They also would get drunk, have sex with each other, and beat their wives. People would act so crazy on Christmas, the holiday was outlawed by the Protestant church until the 1800s.
And the Tooth Fairy.
There ain't no such thing as a tooth fairy.
Then who's leaving the money?
Probably your parents. They have both the cash and the access to your room.
Why did they lie to me?
Because the truth hurts, Jasmine. The world is a hard and lonely place, and nobody gets anything for free. And you want to know what else? One day, you and everyone you know is gonna die.
To the government.
Think about that!
The prison industrial complex is a system situated at the intersection of government and private interests. It uses prisons as a solution to social, political, and economic problems.
And freaking Ronald Reagan.
Jesus was black, Ronald Reagan was the devil, and the government is lying about 9/11. Thank you for your time, and good night.
At every instant, Huey wasn't just trying to be a rebel without a cause. He was challenging us to think critically, to question the narratives we're fed, and to look beyond the surface. And let's be real, in 2025, with all this misinformation and fake news flying around, that kind of critical thinking is more important than ever. Every major breakthrough, from the invention of the internet to the fight for civil rights, started with someone challenging the status quo. If those pioneers had not questioned the way things were, we'd probably still be sending telegrams and riding segregated buses. Huey is showing us that real progress comes from questioning norms, thinking outside the box, and daring to be different. But Huey ain't the only one dropping wisdom bombs in Woodcrest. His little brother Riley got some lessons to teach us too, even if they come with a side of gangster attitude.
My president is black and my Lambo is blue, nigga. Now get the fuck out my hotel room.
This kid, man, Riley, he got swag for days. He's always convinced that he's the coolest cat in the room, even when he's rocking a questionable outfit.
Wait, what the hell are you wearing? Is that a bra?
What? It's just a wife beater.
Where are your pants? Why are you wearing a skirt?
Nah, Granddad. These are gangsta-licious shorts for thugs. See, they got an extra flap with a pocket, so you hide what you want to hide from the police. Kinda hot, right?
Or spitting some whack rhymes.
Describe Riley Freeman in one word.
I say real nigga.
Real nigga is 2 words.
I know it's 2 words, nigga. Real niggas don't follow instructions.
Riley may not always be right, but he's never unsure of himself. He knows what he wants, and he ain't afraid to go after it. Because in a world that's constantly trying to tell you what you're capable of, that kind of self-belief can be a superpower. Whether you're negotiating a raise, leading a team, or just trying to build your personal brand, knowing your worth is key. It gives you the confidence to ask for what you deserve, to stand your ground, and to shine bright, even when others doubt you. Riley might be a cartoon kid, but he's teaching us a real-world lesson that can take us further than any Lambo ever could. Speaking of those questionable outfits, remember when the Freemans first rode into Woodcrest?
The fuck y'all looking at?
Hey, little man. Like guns?
Yeah.
Come on.
Come on, let's get that drink.
These city boys were thrown headfirst into the suburbs, and let's just say it wasn't always a smooth ride.
Ruin the party? They love me. These people aren't worried about us. They're not worried about anything. They're rich. No matter what happens, these people just keep applauding.
Man, these guys was like a fish out of water. Granddad was chasing cougars in miniskirts. Riley was trying to act hard in a land of pop collars and cargo shorts. And Huey was just trying to survive with the existing dread of living in a place where the biggest crime is someone stealing your newspaper. But you know what? They figured it out. They adapted. They learned to navigate the backyard barbecues, the HOA meetings, and the endless loop of Young Sheldon reruns on their neighbor's TV. And that's lesson number 3, be adaptable. In 2025, the world's changing faster than ever. Technology's evolving, social norms are shifting, and the only constant is change itself. Whether you're switching careers, moving to a new city, or just trying to keep up with the latest TikTok trends, being adaptable is key. The Freemans might have grumbled about their suburban exile, but they showed us that even when you're out of your comfort zone, you can still find a way to thrive. But adapting does not mean selling out, and nobody knows that better than Huey Freeman, the woke wonder kid who's always ready to fight the power. This kid's a walking protest. He's got more principles than a philosophy textbook, and he ain't afraid to stand up for what he believes in, even when it's unpopular. He's like a tiny Malcolm X with an anime obsession, and he's teaching us a valuable lesson: stay true to your values. In a world that's constantly trying to mold you into something that you're not, staying true to yourself can be a radical act. Whether it's your political beliefs, your personal style, or your career choices, don't let anyone dim your light. Huey's showing us that authenticity is power, and that staying grounded in your value is the key to living a life that's truly your own. Now, how can we forget Uncle Ruckus? That dude's a walking contradiction. But even Ruckus, with his self-loathing and backward views, can teach us something.
They don't know that I am currently living with the heartbreak of revitiligo. That's a skin condition that's the opposite of what Michael Jackson's got. Every morning I apply this topical ointment made of bleach and sulfur. I like to think it works. Luckily, I hadn't gotten much darker in the last few years.
Yeah, this guy, Uncle Ruckus. He's the king of self-hate, the master of delusion. He's basically a walking identity crisis with a permanent scar. But even Ruckus, with all his flaws, understands the importance of leveraging your environment. He might be misguided, but he's always trying to use his surroundings and connections to get what he wants. Whether it's playing the victim, exploiting his perceived whiteness, or just straight up manipulating people, Ruckus knows how to work the system, even if the system is built on his own twisted logic. Now, I ain't saying you should follow Ruckus's example, but the truth is, in any environment, whether it's your workplace, your community, or your online network, knowing how to leverage your resources and connections can open doors and create opportunities. It's about building relationships, recognizing your strengths, and using them to your advantage. Successful entrepreneurs, community leaders, even social media influencers, they all understand the power of leveraging their environment. So while we definitely shouldn't be taking life advice from Uncle Ruckus, we can at least learn from his resourcefulness? Yeah, let's just call it that. Now, let's be real, nobody's perfect. Even the smartest, most woke, and most confident characters in the Boondocks mess up sometimes. But that's okay, because that's how we learn. Yeah, these guys stumble and fall like the rest of us. Riley's candy empire went up in flames. Granddad's love life is a never-ending train wreck.
Oh, Lord!
And even Huey's had moments of, oops, maybe I shouldn't have done that. But you know what? They get back up. They dust themselves off and they keep going. And that's lesson number 5. Learn from your mistakes. Nobody's born knowing everything. We all make mistakes and we all face setbacks. But the key is to not let those failures define us. Instead, we need to embrace them as opportunities to learn, to grow, and to come back stronger. The Freemans, with all their chaos and misadventures, are showing us that resilience is built on a foundation of oop moments. Think about some of the most successful people in the world. They did not get where they are by being perfect. They got there by failing, learning, and trying again. From Oprah Winfrey to Steve Jobs, every success story is also a story of setbacks and comeback. In the same way, the Boondocks might be a comedy, but it is filled with surprisingly deep lessons about about life, success, and navigating a world that's constantly changing. And perhaps the most important lesson of all of this, don't be afraid to be yourself. This show is a celebration of individuality, a reminder that it's okay to be different, to stand out, and to challenge the norm. In a world that's constantly trying to put us in boxes, the Boondocks encourages us to break free, to embrace our authentic selves, and to never apologize for who we are. Whether you're a revolutionary like Huey, a hustler like Riley, a grumpy old man like Granddad, or even a self-hating curmudgeon like Uncle Ruckus, there's power in being true to yourself. It's about finding your voice, embracing your strengths, and owning your flaws. It's all about living a life that's authentically yours, even if it means going against the grain. So in 2025 and beyond, let's all channel our inner Freeman while striving for the best. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna go rewatch the Boondocks and try to figure out how a cartoon about a grumpy old man and his grandsons ended up being more profound than half the self-help books on the market. Peace out.